The soilless production has several advantages versus the traditional soil production of crops. We'll see them one by one. The first advantage is of course linked with the existence of the soil-borne pathogens like fusarium, verticillium, nematodes, and things like that, which are missing in the artificial substrate or are removed due to their production process, which in many cases goes through thermal treatment of specific minerals to transform them into a proper rooting medium for the plants. And secondly, there is a great advantages of the artificial substrate versus the natural soil regarding with the feasibility of densification. It's much easier, much more effective, much less costly to densify the artificial substrate comparing to the natural soil, and it is great advantages in case of repeated cultivation of the same crop, which is common in the intensive greenhouse production. Next, the artificial substrate or overall the soilless production offers the possibility to cultivate greenhouse crops and to achieve high yields and good quality even in the saline or sodic soils or in non-arable soils with poor structure. And this is very great advantages considering the fact that the agricultural land is continuously diminished due to the advancement of urbanized areas and the extensive use of other industries which are asking for more and more land. By using the soilless production practices, then it will be possible to use for agricultural purposes lands which are not appropriate for normal crop production, and thus we can use the other advantages the nature can offer in such areas like the high solar radiation or the availability of cheap labor and things like that. And next, by the soilless production practices, it is possible to apply precise control of nutrition, particularly in crops grown in air substrate or in pure nutrient solution, and then better supply the crop demands in a specific stage of their development. Thus, it's not only possible to achieve higher yields, but also to guarantee that quality of products, either vegetables or fruits, is achieves or is in good standards. Thus, we can not only achieve higher yields, but also guarantee or achieve higher quality standard of each crop. Other advantages of the soilless production versus soil production is that by soilless practices we avoid the soil tillage and land preparation, soil preparation, and thereby we increase the crop length and the total yield in greenhouses. We can increase the efficiency of greenhouses by extending the length of the plant's life and especially of the harvesting period of the crops. And also by using the soilless production systems we can contribute to enhance the early yield in crops planted during the cold season because of the high temperatures in the root zone during the day, and this is especially important for cucurbitaceae vegetables, which are very sensitive to temperatures in the root zone, and thus by providing a higher temperature in the root environment due to the use of inorganic substrate, we can improve the earliness of harvesting to these crops. And finally, by using the soilless production practices, we pay the full respect for environment issues, because they offer the opportunity to reduce the fertilizer, the frequency of fertilization, and the amount, the amount of fertilizer applied to the plants, and to reduce the amount of fertilizers, the amount of nutrients leached out from greenhouse to the environment. This has become possible due to the development of so-called closed soilless production systems, at which the nutrient solution is recirculated, and thus we have maximum use efficiency of specific nutrients. However, there are some disadvantages of the soilless production system versus natural production system or soil production system, such as the high installation cost of these systems, and more than that, the high requirements for technical skills. Of course, the soilless production system have the potential to increase the yields and to improve the earliness and the quality of the products, but they really need experienced and highly qualified personnel to deal with that. Otherwise, it can result in very poor results, or even total failure of the production. Thus, this should be kept in mind in order to avoid unexpected financial losses. There are significant differences between the soilless and the natural soil production. Generally, a faster growth and a higher yield is happening in the soilless production, and this is because a higher water uptake facilitated by greater hydraulic conductivity and the water content of soilless substrate. In addition, the mineral nutrition of plants is stimulated by frequent delivery, especially many times in excess even, of a complete nutrient solution, and with an optimum pH of the nutrient solutions, which in general helps the greater uptake of nutrients from the plants. However, there's other morphological and physiological differences happening in the plants due to the use of the soilless production system, and one we can easily observe is that plants grown in soilless production system have a longer primary roots, but they have fewer lateral roots. So the root system is less branched than in the natural soil, and the plants growing in soilless system have less root hairs compared to soil-bound plants. Next, in soils, ion movements occurs by mass flow, and which is driven by plant transpiration and by diffusion. And moreover, even more, in soil culture, the root interception substantially contributes to mineral uptake and therefore the root growth is essential for water and nutrient uptake. Different from that, the root growth is not so important for the mineral uptake in hydroponic culture, because, as I said before, we apply complete nutrient solution and with optimum pH with a high frequency, and therefore the root system of the soilless grown plants is always in contact with fully or a complete nutrient solution. There are other differences between the soilless and soil production plants, as for example, in soilless culture the volume, oxygen content and ion concentration and content of a nutrient solution change rapidly due to the root uptake. For this reason, and due to the low volume of substrate which is available to the plants, generally the plants grown in soilless culture, the frequency of irrigation plays a major role in mineral nutrition of hydroponic plants. We are normally applying very frequent irrigations in the soilless production system, the frequency which is much higher than the frequency of irrigation in the soil grown plants. And next, the soilless systems are generally characterized by limited buffering capacity, in particular against changes in pH, temperature and moisture content in the root zone. And this is because of the low ion exchange capacity of the substrates commonly used in soilless production systems. Therefore, the risk of the negative effects of technical mistake or failures on crop yield and quality are much higher than in the soil production system. We should keep always in mind this fact, and as I said before, in order to avoid this mistake, we have to have highly qualified personnel to run the soilless production systems.